Hello there, and welcome to another video from this channel. And this time around, I have the pleasure of introducing the third place finisher at the world premiere, world's first big stage event in London, Stefan Karlsson. Glad to have you.
Hey, I'm glad to be here.
Yeah.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah. And you're a local of mine, and I was super happy when I looked at the standings during the end of the first day, and I saw, wow, Stefan is actually going for today too. That's great to hear. And I was even happier when I realized you were on Olympia. And then Sunday came around, and you just kept on winning. And I realized, wow, we're actually locked for top 8. It must have been pretty awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really awesome. I didn't expect to go in day 2.
Yeah.
So,
It was very well done. But you've been around the world playing for a while. Could you make a quick introduction of yourself? Who is Stefan Karlsson? So, this deck list will be in the description of this video. But it's an interesting thing that you actually ended up on Olympia, because in Classic Constructed, he hasn't been that awesome. I think he has a grand total of something like 7 living legend points. So how did they end up on Olympia for Sage?
yeah, so like 2 months ago, I started testing out different decks and feel what sparks joy and what feels like the best deck for me. So I tried Reiner, Briar, and some other decks that was good during that time. And I ended up on Decimator Olympia because it was the deck I had most fun playing on Talishar. So then I started to build my own deck based on the data. So and I have played it last 2 months with before the spoilers, and then updated it when I saw the new spoilers. And why I chose Olympia. The time I chose Olympia, he feels it was the best because of the helmet, the Olympia helmet. I said, the most block.
Yeah, but I saw that there were it was you, and was it 1 or 2 decimated Doris in top 8?
It was me and I think 2 Decimator Doris.
Yeah.
In top 8, yes.
Yeah, so it seemed like this apparently is one of the better weapons available in Sage, I guess. And I think the rate isn't that awesome to begin with. I mean, it's an efficient weapon, but when you take into account the line of text here, like whenever this is defended by a non-equipment cardage, the first time this is defended by a non-equipment cardage turn, have the base of the target defending card rounded up. And in a 20 life format, this adds up kind of quickly. And this is a weapon you don't want to block usually. So that means you either get fatigued, or this is like evasive damage. So it's very, very efficient.
Yes. So it needs to be blocked by 2 cards every time if you want to full block it, or 1 card and armor or equipment. And yes, it adds up when not blocking.
And you also spoke about the Price Galea Olympia Specialization helmet. If I understood you correctly, this was a big part of you choosing Olympia as well.
Yeah, so before the spoilers from the latest set, this was the best defending equipment for Warrior,
Mm.
because it blocks 2 and then blocks 1 unconditional.
Yeah.
And I kept playing Olympia even after they spoiled Unity pieces,
Hmm.
and ended up on Olympia.
Yeah. Because you included a couple of Unity pieces as well. You used the arms, the legs, and the chest piece.
Yes.
But so everything but the helmet.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the good thing with the helmet is that it does not have Unity, so it always blocks 2, while the
Mm.
Unity equipment you need to block with a card from hand.
Mm.
So it's really good when you don't want to block with a card from hand but still want to block 2.
And would you say, because I didn't bring the door list side by side here, but I would guess that there are a lot of cards that are in both deck lists, right?
Yes. So in equipment, mostly the difference is that they are running the go again boots,
Retraction bolters.
refraction bolters, yes, and then the Unity helmet instead.
Hmm. Yeah.
And
So they're somewhat similar. But did ever Olympia, do you have a way of using Olympia hero power apart from the price Galea?
no, the only way to or yes, I have. No, the only way is the price Galea. Yes,
Mm.
the only way in the deck is the price Galea to wager.
And during the 2 days of calling, how many times did you activate price Galea?
I didn't activate price Galea any time
Uh,
during the calling because I don't use the gold.
yeah. So pretty much the only text you looked at is here Warrior and this over here Olympia. That's the only thing that matters. This could have been blank.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So the only thing why I'm playing Olympia is the helmet.
Yeah. Let's see. But if we're scrolling down a bit from the deck list, and in this list we have the 47 cards grand total at the deck. Out of these 47, which ones are like dedicated sideboard cards?
So my sideboard cards is the Arcane Polarity.
Mm.
So this is only sided in against Wizards and Room Blades.
Mm.
So in both all Room Blades matchups I side this in and against all Wizards.
Yeah, it's a 0 for 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess.
And Fjendal's Fighting Spirit is also a sideboard card.
Mm.
This is sided in when I want to remove red steel blade shunt often.
Mm.
If I don't think I need to play a block 6, side this in. Or
What matchups would that be, for example?
so against this I sided in against FaB
Mm.
in the calling
Yeah.
instead of steel blade shunt red.
Mm. Right. And I guess the blue shunts are part of the mana base, so you can't really remove them anyway.
No, they are my mana. And then
Then
also
you go ahead.
also in my sideboard is the Oasis Respite. These are sided in against Kano and
Mm.
against Bravo and Azalea
Mm.
when I want to block out to dominate or arcane damage.
Would you use these in, for example, against other warriors like the Ori and Olympia as well?
Yes, this can be sided in against other warriors also.
Because it's still one card lost from deck to prevent like a whole axe swing, for example.
Yes.
So
And
are
my
there?
last sideboard card is Test of Strength.
There we go.
And this card, first I tried Test of Vigor, but Test of Vigor will always give your opponent a Vigor token if they win, and I don't have a lot of attacks in my deck, so they more or less wins every time. And I changed it to Test of Strength instead, and only run this in the Briar matchup, because most Briar decks are only running red and a few yellows, maybe a few blues, so they will more or less never pitch for gold. So yeah, you can safely create a gold for them. Maybe they can pitch some time for it to fix their hand, but most of the time they will never pitch for gold.
That makes sense. It's less likely that you will get punished by giving your opponent a gold, but if you give them a vigor, that can actually matter a lot.
Yes.
Because you have in total you have two 4-power attacks, two 6-power attacks, and two 7-power attacks. That maybe you don't you run these against the decks that you would use test of strength in, right? Or do you use this against Briar as well?
No, I do not.
Okay, so it's only four attacks.
Yes.
That can actually be clashes, so it's not very likely.
No, so I more or less run this because it's a 4 block, and against Briar they will probably never pitch for a gold. So you don't lose much to them.
Yeah, that makes sense. And were there like any other considerations that you wanted to include in the deck that didn't make the final cut?
No, I think most of the cards. Yeah, I had some like for the Fjandal's Fighting Spirit. I have considered if I should run Fjandal's Fighting Spirit or Look Tough. Yeah, because Look Tough is also a popper and blocks 3. But that was the card I removed last, like the day before the calling, and changed it to Fjandal's Fighting Spirit. So that was my latest change for the deck. Was thinking about like what should I run in this spot, and that's it. If a 2 block that heals or a 3 block is more worth it.
Yeah. And are there like during the tournament, did you face any decks where poppers actually did matter?
During the tournament, I did not face any decks that I needed poppers in.
And how much of a threat would you say like Romai or Enigma is?
To this deck, if you face it, it can be a hard matchup, depending if they got, like Romai, if they get a lot of dragons out. I think it can be a hard matchup if they block well and like get dragons out. But I don't think there was many. I don't think there was a lot of like illusionists. I didn't face any, and I don't know how many illusionists it was in the tournament overall. But I think they can be a hard match for this deck if they play well.
Yeah. So gut feeling says that if you happen to run into an illusionist, it could be a big help to have these poppers, but most likely it's what kind of block you need the most instead of steel blade shunt.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I guess into most decks where you don't need the 6 block, the possible 2 block and 1 life gain usually matters more than the 3 block from Look Tough.
Yes.
Yeah, and this also can be played for a life gain as well, which look tough. Can attack for 8, I guess, if you pay 1 extra resource, but
Yeah.
that seems like a very narrow case.
Yes.
I have a hard time seeing that happen.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
And about I see you the only inclusions that you have got from compendium is the of course the unity pieces in
Yes.
arms, legs, and chest, and also this one, display of craftsmanship.
Yes. So yeah, before uh, compendium, I run the fealty, fatal engagement.
The one
Fatal
that
engagement.
it's a
Yeah.
five power buff, but the attack has to be defended by an attack action.
Yes. So yeah, then the defending hero needs to defend with an attack action, and
Mm.
this one does not have a condition. It's just +4 without a condition. And yeah, it was a lot of people that didn't expect me to run this in the deck during the tournament. So it's yeah, +4 or these are really good because people don't expect you to go +4
Mm.
if they don't block. And yeah, blue ones yeah work well also, +2. And these are yeah really good if you get a big hand. If the opponent sets up and don't attack you,
Yeah,
you can still play your hand and do some damage.
yeah, I guess that's a big thing. Like the OLDs, for example, Iron Song response. This is very efficient. 0 for 3 buff. The blue ones give +1. And there is also overpower, but this has reprise. But both this and Iron Song response has reprise.
Yes.
So I mean, you can still buff for 4, which is a lot, but the reprise is actually a big factor, especially on the blue one. It's like double the buff if they defend with something from hand.
Yes.
So yeah, I
Uh,
can.
yeah, that was what I was thinking. It's like an overpower but without the reprise effect. So you still
Yeah,
get some value but not all the value.
yeah, still a good one. And of course, the felling swings, the front pumps, and this is just so much damage. And it's a very good way to convert your hand if the opponent decides to just sit the turn out. When that axe
Uh,
comes over for 10 instead of 4, it's a lot more scary.
yes, this was really good in the tournament when you are attacking for a lot and almost force your opponent to block. So you can keep the tempo up and attack for more.
Yeah. And I mean that's a big thing as well when you buff your weapon up to either best case buff it up to 10. If you use the blue ones, it still goes up to 8. That kind of incentivizes your opponent to block with a couple of cards, because if they just block with 1 card, that defense is halved, and then a lot of damage gets through anyway. So they probably want to use a lot of pieces to block with. But the problem with that is that then you lose only 1 card from your deck, the felling swing, and they lose a lot
Yes.
more. So you wouldn't be too sad about that trade either.
No. Yeah. So these are good even in blue, to
Mm.
say, and you can push a lot of damage. And if they want to block it out, they need to block with at least 3 cards or 2 cards and equipment.
Yep. And it's a good thing to know as well with decimator axe and temper equipment. If your opponent blocks with, let's say they block with this plating and wants to use the unity buff, so they have to defend with another card from hand. That actually triggers decimator axe, and if you target a temper piece with decimator axe, that piece is destroyed at the end of combat.
It does not work on the unity equipment, but on all other temper. All temper equipment that has the base too, it works on.
That's true. It says base.
Yeah.
So bad example. Let's say I point at this one instead.
It works on. Yes.
It works on this one, but not the unity ones. That's right.
Yes.
And actually, since there are a lot of good equipment with temper in Sage, so most people run the unity ones, but there are still good things like this, and it's very frustrating not being able to block efficiently with those. Yes. So like this axe is a lot more annoying, than I thought it was when I looked at it first glance. And I was like, oh well, this doesn't seem very good. It's a two-handed weapon with a minor buff. But then I played against it a couple of times in Construct, and I was like, okay, I can see why this can be a problem. And it's very interesting to me that actually it turned out to be in Sage where this really shined. It's a good one.
True.
But speaking of... Hey, you go ahead.
Yeah, so some other things I have around the deck, when I can have some background when I built it, because it has some differences between other decks and mine. So if we look like at the other decks, they are often run like blue attack actions that attack for 5, or in the door list they run like go again, maybe hit and run and stuff like that, or sift some list runs. My list runs mostly reactions, both in blue and red slot. So I run like cut the deck and some other more blue cards, and I built my deck more around like to be able to convert big hands if my opponent is not attacking me for some reason. They may be setting up for a big turn next turn. Then I will be able to convert a 4 or 5 card hand and do some damage.
Yeah.
So it doesn't give much, and most of the time the reprise effect is not really relevant. So it's more like I can convert this card to +1, and I have some more like that only converts to pay 1 +1. But if someone leaves me with a 4 card hand, I can convert it and deal more damage than they expect.
But it's a interesting thing that you bring up, because let's say during a turn cycle, let's say you go second and your turn is play Felling Swing, buff 6, attack with Decimator Axe, comes in for 10. The opponent most likely can't take 10 damage just like that. It's a lot of damage to just face bash into. But if they and the axe debuff makes it so that they most likely want to block with a lot of cards from hand, which means they lose the cards from their deck and they give the tempo to you. If you can't bring a big attack the next turn, they don't lose that much by giving up tempo. But since you have so many both front pumps and attack reactions, you have a good shot of keeping a tempo by bringing that big axe over once again. I think that's a very intelligent deck choice by you. I think it sounds like a good thing, instead of just using Sift or some random blue with a minor effect, rather than something you can convert for damage.
Yeah, because I looked at a lot of the deck lists or like played cards in both Dory and in Olymp and uh, and yeah, they are playing like Sift and stuff, and I didn't really like why are we not playing reactions instead, so we
Mm.
can just pump when we have when we have cards, so we can do it.
Yeah.
And maybe some games people not expect you to go +1 and just block 4 when they are
Yeah.
1.
Yeah. And were there any other attacks you considered including in the deck? So as you said, you have fighting spirit in sideboard, and sirens are main board. I
Yeah,
assume.
Science are main board.
Yeah.
No, it was mostly like yeah, fighting spirit slot. I was thinking to include something else, or if I should remove sirens and put Fyendal's fighting spirit instead of sirens. But I like that sirens always heals you. So like,
Yes.
and that's like I always want to be able to convert my cards. So most of my cards are like always be used to convert some way. Like
Yeah.
that's why I also like the display of craftsmanship I included,
Yeah.
because as we said before, it can always convert it to +2 if you have one extra blue in hand, or this and an extra blue in hand, or you can even pitch your yellows for this one.
Yeah. It's very nice. And if you were to play another world premiere tomorrow, are there any changes you will make to the deck?
One change I'm thinking about is changing Springboard Somersault to the now I don't remember the name, but the yellow defensive reaction.
What does it do?
It's the one, the lay low is the name on it.
The one
Lay low.
you can't play if you're marked, right?
Yes, the one you can't play if you are marked.
Yeah.
This one. Because sometimes it's awkward to arsenal the springboard somersault if you
Mhm.
want to block out, but it only blocks for 2 from hand, and
Yeah.
this always blocks for 3. So I'm thinking about that one. It blocks 1 less if you play it from arsenal, and most decks don't mark you in Sage. It's some decks, but not a lot of people are playing them. I feel.
How big would you say the difference is between a card that blocks 3 and 4 in Sage?
Yeah, it can make a lot of difference. I would say that my games was really close, most of them. It
Mm.
was down to like 5 life or less in the end,
Mm.
depending on the matchup. So they was really close, and uh, so yeah, I think 1 block or 2 blocks can do the difference.
Mm. And I guess that it's a very the outset the first text here that if you can't play this by one be marked, that's a very minor drawback, I guess.
Yeah, it's really minor, and some deck marks you, but not a lot of the decks that are played right now mark you.
Yeah, I didn't see any marionette, Syndras, or Fang. I saw FaB playing with some mark cards.
Yeah,
It would be, I mean, you would feel very dumb if you happen to get hit by mark exactly when you have to play this, but you most likely can take a damage, get you that mark, and use this to block with. So I would guess that's a kind of a minor drawback.
yeah.
Well, so maybe springboard could be something else. Are there any other cards that you would like to try out, or that you didn't?
And no, not what I have been thinking about right now. I've
No.
looked a little on the other list, like the Dora list, but it's mostly from them I saw that they are not playing Springboard Somersault, they are mostly playing Lay Low instead.
Hmm.
And yeah, I will try that out. And yeah, I'm mostly happy with the list. Maybe I try to do some more changes. But that's what I'm looking into now. And if Pindal's Fighting Spirit stays in the list or not. I had some games where it didn't heal me because I was on higher life or same life totals. So
And what would you say were the like overperformers of your run?
my my overall performance, yeah, display of craftsmanship, red.
Mhm.
People didn't expect me to play it, so some people didn't know about the card or haven't seen it, so it
Mhm.
surprised them when I played it.
Yeah, I didn't. I
Uh,
didn't know about this before I saw your deck list, so I would have been one of those people.
yeah. Uh, so yeah, I found it before because I think it was in the Dory list,
Mm.
uh, or if it got spoiled after that. So I was looking into it and saw that yeah, it deals one less damage, but I can always play it, so
Yeah.
it's nice. And the other card. Uh, then I understand. Then also that not all decks are playing Iron Song Response Red. I would say not all the lists are playing this card.
Mm.
Um, so this is also a good card. If people don't expect you to have one card plus three.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's a
uh,
very good one, and it's like the card that you're least happy to know about. That you're if you're on low life totals and you know your opponent has this in their deck, it makes blocks so much more difficult. Like any card
yes,
can kill me at one point. It's really annoying.
yes, and this feels really good with yeah, with the decimator because
Yep.
yeah, it takes at least three cards to block it out everything
Yep.
if they don't have any equipment left. Um,
Yeah. And that's like the constant issue with decimator builds. If the axe is big enough, you either get deck damage or damage your life totals. Like if something will be only like put two cards from your opponent's library in their graveyard, it's not nearly as annoying as the actually damage and the possibility of deck damage. So it's these are
yeah,
very good. And like any front pump is really powerful along with decimator.
yes, yeah, and I would also say that like Iron Song Response Blue and Sharp and Steel Blue was also really good because
Mhm.
one is a front pump and one is like a reaction. But if I play Sharp and Steel Blue and attack with Decimator, and the opponent needs to block with three blocks to block it out.
Mm.
And when they are starting to get low, they don't want to take damage, so you're forcing them to block with 2-3 blocks. And so yeah, this is like second cycle when life totals are starting to get low, and uh, it's really good.
If someone would feel um, a bit interested or want to get into Olympia in Sage, do you have any like a elevator pitch or like some good things to keep in mind while learning to play the deck?
I would say like it's always good to. It's really dependent on the matchups, but I played my most of my matchups like I need to attack mostly. It's you can say it's a fatigue list, but because this matter like you are blocking out your trade to get your opponent low on cards, but I would say most of my games were done before anyone was fatigued, and like the slow decks you need to go fast against, and the fast decks you need to go slower but still attack them. If you give them too much space, you will be overrun. So I think it depends. But one pitch is like block out and try to always get more value out of your cards than they do out of there. Because yes, just swinging Decimator for 4 is a lot of value. You don't need to like buff it every turn. You can just swing it for 4 and block out. But
Yeah, you told me that the other day that you actually didn't. You only won one game by fatigue during your run, if I remember correctly.
yeah, or it almost got to fatigue. He still had some cards in deck, but that was against an old him.
Yeah.
That just used his reaction and blocked out, and was down to like 2 cards in the end.
Yeah.
And all other decks I did damage, more damage than they.
Yeah, it's like it ends up being evasion in some form with this because you really don't want to block this if you can avoid it.
Yeah.
But it's just 5 swings when you start with 20 life totals, and like if you add any buff, things go very quickly south. So you can't ignore the axe for that long in this format.
No.
You have to start dealing with it in some way. Because while you don't want to block Decimator, it doesn't feel good when you're at 20 life, but you absolutely does not want to block it when you're lower either, because of all the reactions in your deck. So I would imagine this is kind of a tough deck to play against as well.
Yeah, the deck is happy to block with like 3 cards each turn and just swing Decimator. And if the opponent like blocks out and just swing 1 attack, you can block 1 attack and then swing back harder than just Decimator. So it's because like if they block out your Decimator, you punish them by swinging harder next turn. So it's really like they cannot block out because then you just will swing for 8 instead of 4, and if they don't block out, they take damage.
So. Thank you so much for taking time talking about your deck list. And before we end this, do you have any shout outs or anything you would like to add?
I can do a shout out to the app I'm doing. I'm developing FaB Counter. I've done it for like 2 years now, and it's a good life counter if you don't have any or want a better life counter.
It's a very good life counter. It's the one I use when I record games as well. So it's very handy to have if you happen to run like an OBS setup as well, because you can plug it straight into the OBS to have it live totals in real time. So I'm very impressed. And actually, one of the first thing I heard when I started playing FaB a couple of years back, you were at that armory, and I overheard you telling that you did there wasn't any good life counter apps, so you decided to make one of your own, and I think that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I started a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Didn't find any good apps that was updated, and now I created my own and tries to keep it updated with the latest
Yeah.
changes in the game.
Yeah. It has been constantly improving since then.
Yes.
So it's a good one. So that is awesome. But thank you so much, and good luck in both to you and to the viewers in the upcoming PQ season. So I'm very curious about how many victories or how many PQs that will be taken down by Olympia in Sage or in CC for that matter. But I'm not holding my breath for Olympia in constructed yet.
No.
We'll see about that. I might be wrong, but I guess we're about to find out. Anyhow, take care, everyone. See you around.
See you. Thank you.